Sire, I thought I do not know the man. I think I see him coming, the shepherd we want. He's old, like our friend here, and the man, bringing him seen to be the servants of my house. But you can tell if you have ever seen him.
I know him. He was Lysa's man. You can trust him.
Tell me first, you from Corinth, is this the shepherd we are discussing?
This is the very man.
Come here. Now, look at me. You must answer everything I ask. You belong to Laios?
Yes, born his slave, brought up in his house.
Tell me, what kind of work did you do for him?
I was a shepherd of his most of my life.
Where mainly did you go for pasturage?
Sometimes Kitharion, sometimes the hills nearby.
This man, standing here, have you seen him before?
No, at least not to my collection.
And that is not strange, my lord. But I will refresh his memory. He must remember when we two spent 3 whole seasons together, March to September. On Kitharion thereabouts, he had 2 flocks. I had 1. Each autumn I'd drive mine home, and he would go back with his to Laios sheepfold. Is this not true, just as I have described it?
True, yes, but it was all so long ago.
Well then, do you remember back in those days that you gave me a baby boy to bring up as my own?
But if I did, what are you trying to say?
King Oedipus was once that little child.
Damn you! Hold your tongue!
No more of that! It is your tongue that needs watching, not this man's.
My king, my master, what is it I have done wrong?
You have not answered his question about the boy.
He does not know. He is only making trouble.
Come, speak plainly or it will be hard on you.
In God's name, do not torture an old man.
Come here, one of you. Bind his arms behind him.
Unhappy king, what more do you wish to learn?
Did you give this man the child he speaks of?
I did, and I would to God. I had died that every day.
You will die now unless you speak the truth.
Yet, if I speak the truth, I am worse than dead.
Very well, since you must insist on delaying.
No, I have told you already that I gave him the boy.
Where did you get him? From your house? From somewhere else?
Not from mine, no. A man gave him to me.
Is that man here? Do you know whose slave he was?
For God's love, my king, do not ask me anymore.
You are a dead man if I have to ask again.
Then the child was from the palace of Laios.
A slave child? Or a child of his own line?
I'm on the brink of dreadful speech.
And I of dreadful hearing, yet I must hear.
If you must be told, then they said it was Laios' child. But it is your wife who can tell you about that.
My wife? Did she give it to you?
My lord, she did.
Do you know why?
I was told to get rid of it.
An unspeakable mother.
There had been prophecies.
Tell me,
It was said that the boy would kill his own father.
then why did you give him over to this old man?
I pitied the baby, my king. I thought this man would take him far away, to his own country. He saved him, but for what a fate! For if you are what this man says you are, no man living is more wretched than Oedipus.
Oh God, it was true, all the prophecies. Now, O light, may I look upon you one last time. I, Oedipus, damned in birth, damned in this marriage, damned in the blood he shed with his own hand.
Alas for the seed of men!
What measure shall I give this generation, that breathe on the void in our void, and exist but do not exist? Who bears more weight of joy than mass of sunlight shifting images, or who shall make his thoughts stay on that down time drifts away? Your splendor is all fallen, O naked brow of wrath and tears, O change of Oedipus! I who saw your days call no man blessed, your great days like ghosts gone, that mind was a strong bow.
Deep, how deep you drew it then, hard archer, at a dim, fearful range, and brought clear glory down. You overcame the stranger, the virgin with her hooking lion claws, and taught that sang, stood like a tower, to make pale thieves take heart, fortress against our sorrow, true king, giver of laws, majestic Oedipus. No prince in Thebes had ever such renown, no prince won such grace of power, and now all men ever know.
Most beautiful is this man's story. His fortunes are most changed, his state fallen to a low slaves, ground under bitter fate. O Oedipus, most royal one! The great door that expelled you to the light, gave at night, gave night to your glory. As to the fathering son, all understood too late. How could that queen, whom Laius won, the garden that he harrowed at his height, be silent when that act was done? But all eyes fail before time's eye.
All actions come to justice there, though never willed, though far down the deep past. Your bed, your dread sirens, are brought to book at last. Child by Laius, doomed to die, then doomed to lose that fortunate little death. Would God you never took breath in this air, that with my wailing lips I take to cry. For I weep the world's outcast. I was blind, and now I can see why. Asleep, for you had given ease of breath to thieves while the false years went by.
Elders of Thebes, most honored in this land, what horrors are yours to see and hear? What weight of sorrow to be endured? If true to your birth, you venerate the line of Labdacus, I think neither Isthmus nor Phasis, those great rivers, could purify this place of the corruption. Its shelters now, or soon must bring to light, evil not done unconsciously but willed. The greatest griefs are those we cause ourselves.
Surely, friend, we have grief enough already. What new sorrow do you mean?
The queen is dead.
Jocasta? Dead? But at whose hand?
Her own. The full horror of what happened you cannot know, for you did not see it. But I, who did, will tell you, as clearly as I can, how she met her death. When she had left us, in passionate silence, passing through the court, she ran to her apartment in the house, her hair clutched with the fingers of both hands. She closed the door behind her. Then, by that bed, where long ago the fatal son was conceived, that son who should bring about his father's death, we heard her call upon Laos dead so many years, and heard her wail for the double fruit of her marriage, a husband by her husband, children by her child. Exactly how she died, I do not know, for Oedipus burst in moaning and would not let us keep vigil to the end. It was by him, as he stormed about the room, that our eyes were caught. From one to another of us he went, begging a sword, cursing his wife who was not his wife, the mother, whose womb had carried his own children and himself. I do not know, it was none of us aided him, but surely one of the god was in control. For with a dreadful cry, he hurled his weight, as though wrenched out himself. At the twin doors, the bolts gave, and he rushed in, and there we saw her hanging, her body swaying. From the cruel cord she has noosed about her neck, a great sob broke from him. Heartbreaking to hear, as he loosed the rope and lowered her to the ground. I would blot out from my mind what happened next. From the king ripped from her gown the golden brooches that were her ornament and raised them, and plunged them out, straight into his eyeballs, crying, "No more! No more shall you look into the misery about me, the horrors of my own doing. Too long you have known the faces of those whom I never have seen, too long been blind to those for whom I was searching. From this hour, go in darkness." And he spoke. He struck at his eyes, not once but many times, and the blood spattered his beard, bursting from his ruined sockets like red hail. So from the unhappiness of two, this evil has sprung. a curse on the man and woman alike. The old happiness of the house of Labdakos was happiness enough. Where is it today? It is wailing and ruin, disgrace, death, all. The misery of mankind that has a name, and is a wholly forever theirs.
Is he in agony still? Is there no rest for him?
He is calling for someone to lead him to the gates, so that all the children of Cadmus may look upon his father's murderer, not mother's. No, I cannot say it! And then he will leave Thebes, self-exiled, in order that the curse which he himself pronounced may depart from the house. He is weak, and there is none to lead him, so terrible in his suffering. But you will see. Look, the doors are opening in a moment.
Dreadful indeed for me to see. Never have my own eyes looked on a sight so full of fear. Oedipus, what madness came upon you? What demon leaped on your life with heavier punishment than a mortal man can bear? No, I cannot even look at you, poor ruined one, and I would speak, question, ponder, if I were able. No, you make me shudder.
God, God, is there a sorrow greater? Where shall I find harbor in this dark world? My voice is held far upon the dark wind. What had God done to me?
Too terrible to think of or to see.
O cloud of night, never to be turned away, night coming on. I cannot tell how, night like a shroud, my fair winds brought me here. O God, again the pain of the spikes where I had sight, flooding pain, never to be gouged out. You suffer it all twice over, remorse and pain. Ah, dear friend.
Are you faithful even yet? You alone? Are you still standing near me? Will you stay here? Patient, to care for the blind? The blind man! Yet, even blind, I know who it is attends me. But voice, tone, though my new darkness hide a comforter.
Oh, fearful act! What god was it that drove you to rake black night across your eyes?
Apollo! Apollo, dear! Children, the god was Apollo! He brought my sick, sick fate upon me, but the blinding hand was my own. How could I bear to see when all my sight was horror everywhere?
Everywhere, that is true.
And now what is left? Images? Love? A greeting even? Sweet to the senses, is there anything? Ah, no friends, lead me away. Lead me away from Thebes and hell of Oedipus, whom the gods hate. Lead the great wreck.
Your fate is clear. You are not blind to that. Would God you have never found it out.
Death takes the man who unbound my feet on that hillside and delivered from death to life. What life? If only I had died, the weight of monstrous doom would not have dragged me and my darlings down.
I would have wished the same.
Oh, never to have come here with my father's blood upon me, never to have been the man they call his mother's husband. Oh, accursed, oh child of evil, to have entered that wretched bed, the self same one, more primal than sin itself, this fell to me.
I do not know how I can answer you. You were better dead than alive and blind.
Enough! Do not counsel me anymore. This punishment that I have laid upon myself is just. If I had eyes, I do not know how I could bear the sight of my father when I come to the house of death, or my mother, for I have sinned against them both, so vilely that I could not make my peace by strangling my own life. Or do you think my children, born as they were born, would be sweet to my eyes? Ah, never, never! Nor this town with its high walls, nor the holy images of the gods. For I, thrice miserable Oedipus, noblest of all the line of Cadmus, had condemned myself to enjoy these things no more by my own malediction. expelling that man whom the gods declared to be a defilement of the house of Laios. After exposing the frankness of my own guilt, how could I look men frankly in the eyes? No, I swear it. If I could have stifled my hearing at its source, I would have done it and made all this body blank to the light and sound. So I should have been safe in a dark agony beyond all recollection. Akitharian, why did you shelter me when I was cast upon you? Why did I not die? Then I should never have been shown the world of my execrable birth. Ah, Polybos, Corinth, city that I believed, the ancient seat of my ancestors. How fair I seem your child, and all the while, for I am sick in my daily life, sick in my origin. Oh, three roads, dark ravine, woodland and way, where three roads met, you drinking my father's blood, my own blood spilled by my own hand. Can you remember? The unspeakable things I did there, and the things I went on from there to do. Oh, marriage, marriage, the act that engendered me, and again the act performed by the son in the same bed. Ah, the net of incest, mingling father, brothers, sons, with brides, wives, and mothers. The last evil that can be known by man. No doubt the same. How evil! No, for the love of God, conceal me somewhere far from Thebes, or kill me, or hurl me into the sea, away from men's eyes forever. Come, lead me. You need not fear to touch me. Of all men, I alone can bear this guilt.
We are not the ones to decide, but Creon here may fitly judge of what you ask. He only is left to protect the city in your place.
Alas, how can I speak to him? What right have I to beg his courtesy whom I have deeply wronged?
I have not come to mock you, Oedipus, or to reproach you either. If you have lost all respect for man's dignity, at least respect the flame of Lord Helios. Do not allow this pollution to show itself openly here, an affront to the earth, and heaven's reign and the light of day. No, take him into the house as quickly as you can, for it is proper that only the close kindred see this grief.
I pray you in God's name, since your courtesy ignores my dark expectation, visiting. Why mercy this man of all men most execrable? Give me what I ask, for your good, not mine.
And what is it would you have me do?
Drive me out of this place as quickly as may be, to a place where no human voice may ever come to greet me.
I should have done that before now. Only God's will had not been wholly revealed to me.
But his command is plain, that parricide must be destroyed. I am that evil man.
That is the sense of it, yes. But as things are, we had best discovered clearly what is to be done.
You would learn more about a man like me.
You are ready now to listen to the God.
I will listen, but it is to you that I must call for help. I beg you, hear me. The woman is there. Give her whatever funeral you think proper. She is your sister. But let me go, Crayon. Let me free my father's Thebes of the pollution of my living here, and go out to the wild hills, to Catharian, that has one such fame with me. The tomb my mother and father appointed for me, and let me die there, as they willed I should. And yet I know death will not come to me through sickness, or in any natural way. I have been preserved for some unthinkable fate. But let that be. As for my sons, you need not care for them. They are men. They will find some way to live. But my poor daughters who have shared my table, who have never before been parted from their father. Take care of them, Crayon. Do this for me, and you will let me touch them with my hands a last time, and let us weep together. Be kind, my lord. Great prince, be kind. Could I but touch them, they would be mine again as when I had eyes. Estigone? Ismene? Ah, God! Is it my dearest children I hear weeping? Has Crayon pitied me and sent my daughters?
Yes, Oedipus. I know that they were dear to you in the old days, and know you must love them still.
May God bless you for this, and be friendlier, guardian to you than he has been to me. Children, where are you? Come quickly to my hands. They are your brothers, hands that have brought your father's once clear eyes this way of seeing. Ah, dearest ones, I had neither sight nor knowledge then. You, father, by the woman who was the source of his own life. And I weep for you, having no strength to see you. I weep for you when I think of the bitterness that men will visit upon you all your lives. What homes, what festivals can you attend without being forced to depart again in tears? And when you come to marriageable age, where is the man, my daughters, who would dare risk the bane that lies on all my children? Is there any evil in wanting your father killed? His father sowed the womb of her who bore him, engendered you at the fount of his own existence. That is what they will say of you. Then whom can you ever marry? There are no bridegrooms for you, and your lives must wither away in sterile dreaming. O Crayon, son of Noicus, you are the only father my daughters have, since we, their parents, are both of us gone forever. They are your own blood. You will not let them fall into beggary and loneliness. You will keep them from the miseries that are mine. Take pity on them. See, they are only children, parentless except for you. Promise me this, great prince, and give me your hand as a token. Children, I can say much if you understand me, but as it is, I only have this prayer for you. Live where you can, be happy as you can. Happier, please God, than God has made your father.
Enough. You have wept enough. Now go within.
I must, but it is hard.
Time eases all things.
But you must promise.
Say what you desire.
Send me from Thebes.
God grant that I may.
But since God hates me...
No, he will grant your wish.
You promise?
I cannot speak beyond my knowledge.
Then lead me in.
Come now, and leave our children.
No, do not take them from me.
Think no longer that you are in command here, but rather think how, when you were, you served your own destruction.
Men of Thebes, look upon Oedipus. This is the king who solved the famous riddle and towered up most powerful of men. No mortal eyes but looked on him with envy, yet in the end ruin swept over him. Let every man in mankind's frailty consider his last day, and let none presume on his good fortune until he finds life at his death a memory without pain.